God, I'm not good at this. I'm very bad at talking to people, and by extension, cameras as well. I avoid making eye contact, I stutter, and what's really hard is when I'm trying to talk and I just kind of zone out and forget what I'm saying because I can't form the words correctly. But I've set a goal and I need to do this. I need to create videos for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to document like the thought process, the journey. I'm very shy and antisocial, which is weird because like I enjoy the company of people and being around them. That makes me happy, but I'm not very comfortable with interacting with people. People are weird, they're complex and judging. Or maybe I'm just afraid that people think about me how I think about other people. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Like the very first vlog that I did, I actually sat down and I typed that out. And I tried to follow it to the best of my ability. But real life isn't scripted like that. Like you see people like Casey Neistat or the real Casadero, and they can just go. They can look at the camera. They can talk to people. And one of the reasons YouTubers like that wear shades so you don't see their eyes, so how they're not actually looking at the camera. They're looking at not the viewfinder, but the screen that like is displaying how it's going to look when they edit it. So they don't have to directly keep eye contact on the lens, which is hard for me because I know that if other people are seeing this, then it's going to look like this. I'm looking over here and talking, but you're over there. It's like when you try to Skype someone and you want to look at their face, but you know that when you do that on the camera, on their screen, when they see you, your eyes are looking up or down or to the side or wherever the camera is, so they're not actually looking at you. And one of the hard parts is I can't think of anything interesting about myself that I would want to record because I don't view my life as very interesting at all. I get up, I go to work 3 days a week, and I have a job where I'm very lucky to get 4 days off in a row so I can go to school. But I generally keep to myself. I have one real friend, and I don't understand him because it's one of those things where like they know enough about you, and if you were them and you knew you, would you be friends with you? Probably not. And yet they are. So it's hard to wrap your head around what motivates a person to continue interacting and being friends with you. I'm not good at talking at all either. I'm very good at writing things out. Like in high school, I used to be the best student in all of my English classes. Like if we had a 12-page paper, and I'd be like, yeah, another easy assignment. Because that was my thing. Like writing, taking the time to form my thoughts on paper was like my shit. But here I am forcing myself to talk to a camera, knowing that I am putting myself out there in a position to be viewed by other people and be judged by them. I keep saying be judged by them, but it's not. What I mean is, I think at my core, I'm afraid of people and what they might think of me, which is why I don't interact with a lot of them. Like we have a student lounge here. I hardly know anyone there, but I will sit down in the middle of everyone, like open up my computer and start working because I feel better when I'm surrounded by people who are having fun and being happy. Even though I am separate from it, I enjoy being close to that. I have a Facebook account and I created it in high school so I could keep up with a bunch of my friends and extended family. But after all these years with it, it's not very, it's like a fake social communion. Like you have people that complain or they brag or they beg for attention or money or one thing or another. But no one really cares about anyone. Like you see people like going through depression and for a second you're like, oh, that sucks, but you keep scrolling. I'll probably end up deleting my Facebook account just because like I have enough fake interaction with people as it is going through day-to-day life. I don't need something like that on a phone. It's also a huge time waster. One thing I understand is that If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So if I keep being alone and secluding and isolating myself all the time, then I'm gonna be secluded, lonely, and feeling generally like depressed all the time, and it's not going to change. And as much as I don't like it, logically I know that the only way to change that is to put myself out there. I am very lacking in self-confidence, self-love, which is why I'm not very confident in going out more and doing more things. But you can't go through life like that, so I'm trying to do better. This is me stepping the hell out of my comfort zone and trying to do better. Like, for the longest time, I didn't make any videos because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of changing. I'm afraid of doing anything new. Even going through school, there are days when I think this isn't for me. Computer science and programming isn't for me. This is complicated. I'm never gonna learn it. Who am I to think that I could do something like this? You can't tackle a problem like that head on. You have to take it on one small piece at a time. So the goal that I have tried to live by for the longest time has been to survive, keep to myself, because the only one that you can depend on is yourself. But I've done that for the past few years, and that's a shitty way to live. So the goal has changed. The goal is to change. And I know, this being one of the first videos that I'm actually sitting here to take the time and do, it's going to look terrible. No one's going to have an interest in it, I think. But at the end of the day, it's not really for them. It's not for other people. It's for me. It's to help me do better.